Hello everyone, this is Grace. It is July the 22nd, 2020, and we're still going to look at Revelation 10 in this video. There are a couple of things that I said that I don't think I explained properly. So I want to go over them again just to make sure that there's the proper understanding. Well, one thing, and then there's another thing that I know that I didn't, and this is a correction for. Okay, so Revelation 10. I just want to correct something about the way that I explained the seven thunders. Revelation 10:4. The seven thunders, what I did was I looked at Revelation 10 and I said, okay, the book is sealed up. We have the examples in history where that sealing led to a misunderstanding of the scriptures. I took a lot of circumstantial evidence and came to the conclusion that we're going to misunderstand the Bible. That's not what this says, okay? And I just want you to understand. It may be that my misunderstanding is that we are going to misunderstand the Bible. Maybe we're going to have the truth, and I just misunderstood it. My point is that no one can know what the seven thunders are. I can make a guess based on the context around it and the history, but my guess is simply that it's just a guess, okay? Because we cannot know what the seven thunders are. We can't. That's our test. No one's ever going to know. People can make hypothetical guesses, but that's just all that it is, and that's all that it will ever be. It is going to come as a surprise to us. We are not going to be prepared for it. It may be that we misunderstand the scriptures. It may not. But one thing for sure is that we are going to be unprepared for it, and we're not going to know what it is for certain. Okay? So my guesses based on the information that I provided were just theories. That's all that it is. It's a theory that the seven thunders is going to be a misunderstanding of the scriptures. Okay, another thing. Here, I didn't really give a good explanation about this, I thought, and I wanted to go into a little bit more depth about the connection between time no longer and the mystery of God. Okay, so I'll just read through this real quick. No, I don't want to read through it. You've already seen the verses in the previous video, so I'm not going to read through it. I'm just going to explain further. Okay, how do you get from the mystery of God to time no longer? Basically, well, that's not really talking about the mystery of God. It's basically the entire verse in context is saying that the church is going to be established. That's the mystery of God, is how we get to salvation, okay? And so it's saying how the church being established leads to prophetic time no longer being advisable. Now that I think about it, you probably already figured this out, but it came as such a shock to me. Even though I could tell you guys about it very lightheartedly, it was a very big shock to me in reality, and I really kind of had to sit back and take a little while to let it sink in. So that's why I felt like, just in case some of you are taking it as hard as I am, maybe you haven't put it together yet, so we're going to go over it real quick. So the church is now established. Basically, what they're saying is that he's gone through probation for those that claim to believe in Yahushua. So since the first since those that claim to believe in Yahushua are saved through Yahushua, his church, they're saying, okay, the church is established. But then you also have the nations that we need to go out to. However, they're not going to have the Bible. They don't believe in Yahushua. Okay? So here we come in. Now comes in the prophetic time no longer. You have all of these prophecies in the Bible, but those prophecies are for the prophets who are going to interpret them, who are going to read the Bible and unravel the mystery. Remember, the mystery is a hidden truth in the Bible. So you have a day for a year is 1,000 years is as a day. We do a lot, a 360-day year. I applied two different principles, I think, to Daniel 9. There's a whole lot of moving around the numbers and applying prophetic principles to the time prophecies in order to discover what the true meaning of that verse is. So when he says time no longer, it uses the word interval, because in Amos, where it tells us that he's going to tell us what's going to happen, he doesn't tell us, oh, this is going to happen and that's it. No, he says, first this is going to happen, then this is going to happen, then this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen. Remember where he's in Matthew 24, he said, when you see the people circle the city, when you see the armies encircling the city, that's the time that you need to leave. When you see this, you're safe. When you see that, go run, hide on top of the buildings, don't look back, etc., etc. Everything is written in a mystery or a parable, so that we can understand what is happening around us, and we can watch and see what things are going on. So I hope I'm not making something that's very simple to you complicated. But now that they don't have the Bible, they don't need that. There's no mystery, because there's no truth for them. They don't believe in Yahushua. They're not going to believe in the Bible. There's no more prophetic time. This is why when I go through the Bible, all of a sudden I'm seeing our interpretation and the 11th hour interpretation. Our interpretation and the 11th hour interpretation. There's two interpretations for pretty much every prophecy that I come across. If I look for it, in pretty much everyone, even the seals, I don't know if I mentioned it in the seals, but even the seals, there was two interpretations for everything. So I can see what's happening in our time. I can also see what's going to happen in their time. But if you let's look at Daniel 9, for example. I have the interpretation for our time up until the time of the last king, and then it changes. You don't know how unsettling that was for me. You don't know how unsettling that was for me. So, but when the time comes, none of that prophetic time is going to apply. It is going to be a literal 70 weeks. That's it. It's a 70-week prophecy from that point on, which explains why they skipped over the I don't know. I don't remember anymore. I think they skipped over a king though. But I can't remember, I'm sorry. But my point is that irregardless is the Daniel 9. You cannot use prophetic time anymore, because these are not children that have sworn allegiance to Yahushua. And this book is the word, which is Yahushua. He is warning his people. He is telling them in advance what is going to happen, because otherwise none of us may be saved, because Satan is no joke, man. Satan is not playing with us. He just isn't. I hope that clears things up. But so time prophecies gone. Because it's the word interval. That's the way we can know that, because it is an interval. If it was just time no longer, we would have to kind of take it, wonder, okay, what's going on? But this word time applies both here to let us know. Well, then you have the semicolon, which attaches it to this, which attaches it to the mystery of God being finished. And then it also is attached to this to let us know that our time interval is going to be finished up here with the mystery. No more mysteries. No more none of that. No more mysteries at all. Nothing has to be hidden. Everything is straightforward as it's shown in the Bible. The church has been established. The test is going to be straightforward, and so are the time prophecies. No more intervals. No more prophetic time. I hope that makes sense. Okay, it's only been 10 minutes. I did have a backup in case I needed to talk about something else. I don't remember what it was though, because I decided yesterday. It was Daniel something. Oh, Daniel. Okay, it was Daniel 8. Hold on, let's go there. Oh, Daniel. And this is attached to, I was looking at this because of our new understanding, or my new understanding, that the Bible is going to be gone. And so I was looking at the word, what was it? And I don't remember what it was. Maybe it wasn't yesterday. A host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression. Probably. Hold on, let me mark this, and then what I'll do is I'll make sure this was it. Okay, one moment. Okay, I remembered what I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to apologize in advance if I don't do a good job of explaining it, because I just looked this up and I was just thinking about it. It's not going to be easy to explain. Here, this word was taken away. This word that was taken away doesn't mean was taken away. Hold on a second. I'll show you another example of taken away here in Daniel 12. Daniel 12. Here we are. This word here. From the time the daily sacrifice was taken away. To turn off, bring back, decline, depart, issue, get, go, lay away, leave undone, etc. That word means to taken away. Do you all remember the example I gave of the butter, where you took the butter away and its fate was sealed? That's what this word means. To be highly, actively, to rise or raise, bring up, exalt, give, go up to, haughty, heave, be lifted up, set on high. Just like that butter that we, in the example, I don't know if you guys seen it, heard it, so let me just repeat it. When I was explaining sealed, the different understandings of sealed, I said, okay, you have 1 stick of butter, but you need some butter for dinner tonight, but you know that you want to make cookies later. And so you take a portion of that butter and you set it aside. Now, for all intents and purposes, the fate of that butter that you set aside is sealed. Unless something happens, you're going to make cookies with that butter. Okay? That's what this word is. Was taken away. It was exalted. It was for a purpose. There was a purpose. The sacrifice was taken away. Now, that's really a good use for the word when you think about it, because I looked this up and I thought to myself, what a peculiar word to use. And then in conjunction with, I thought it really kind of magnified itself to me, because I now understand that it's going to be, we're not going to have there's not going to be a Bible. Okay, so the conclusion that I came to was that this actually, if you think about it, is telling us that it is the Sunday Sabbath that is going to be their test. Now, I know it seems like a far stretch, but I worked through it in my mind why this word would be used instead of the regular takeaway, because it's exalted, you see. It's exalted. But it doesn't mean it has to be exalted. The truth, I'll explain to you, because here's the thing about prophecy, as you know. If you just understand the word, it doesn't really mean anything unless you have an application for it. So we can say, okay, well, we know what this word means now, but how does it make sense in common daily life, right? So here we have the daily sacrifice was taken away. In Revelation 7, I'm really hoping that I can explain this quickly, you guys. I didn't want to make it a long video. We're told that this same beast is the fourth beast, okay? Hold on. And behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in his horns were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. It's coming up somewhere. I'm not sure where it is, so we'll just keep reading. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and his hair on his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him, and thousands ministered. Hold on a moment. Somewhere it's going to say he sought to change. Here it is. Okay, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand for a time, times, and dividing the times. That prophetic time is not going to have that it's not going to make that much of a difference in their interpretation, because they don't use regular units of time. All through Daniel, it says times, dividing of times. It's all over the place in Daniel. So it's not going to have it's not going to make a lot of things different. Anyway, so he's going to think to change times and laws. Okay, there's really only one commandment that is both a time and a law. So let's just think logically here for a moment. He in Daniel 8 a host is given against the daily sacrifice, and by reason of transgression. And even the prince of hosts is going to be substituted. So they're going to substitute Yahushua. They're going to, if we go to Daniel 11, they're worshiping another god altogether. The daily sacrifice is taken away, and the place of the sanctuary was cast down. And then it gets there. It says that he's going to seek to change the times and the laws. Now, all of the word of we could go through the entire Bible and look at every single law. There's quite a few of them, but Yahushua has told us that all of the laws of God are encompassed in those 10 laws. So if you think about it, let's just look at it real quick. I think it's Deuteronomy 5:20. Here we go. if we go through these, and I'm going to go through them real quick, and I want you to just listen. I'm going to take out the fourth commandment. I'm just going to change it a little bit, tweak it a little bit, but I'm just going to take it out for now, because that is both a time and a law. It's the only thing in the Bible that's a time and a law. So, I'm going to take it out, and I want you to consider, what God do you serve without the fourth commandment? Because we know that Yahushua is going to be replaced. God is going to be replaced. He's not saying, okay, let's do away with everything in the Bible. He's saying he's going to change the times and the laws. That's what it says in Daniel, not in Revelation 10. But I'm just trying to make sense of why the word exalted would be used, as opposed to it was taken away as for a purpose, as for a different purpose other than the norm. I hope I made that clear. If not, just meditate on it a little bit. It'll come to you. The understanding will come to you. It was taken away for a different use, an exalted use. Okay? So let's just look at these real quick, and I'm going to abbreviate all of them. I'm not going to read them all, but I'm going to skip the fourth, and I want you to tell me, what God do you serve? Okay. Thou shalt have none other gods before me. Thou shalt not make any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, on earth, etc., etc. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. We're going to skip the fourth commandment. Honor thy father and thy mother. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbors. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor thy neighbor's house, nor his field, his manservant, his maidservant, his ox, his ass, or anything that is thy neighbor's. Without the fourth commandment, any which identifies Yahweh, who he is, that he's the creator of heaven and earth, that he, hold on a second. That it is the seventh day is his Sabbath. And why he should be honored as God. Remember that, because he brought us out of Egypt. But it also identifies who he is, the creator. I'm not sure if that's here, if it's in the other place. I'm just kind of shooting through it right now, doing it from memory. But it has all of the qualities of a seal. If you know, like a seal, like the President of the United States, who he is, what he has control over, his name, his title, stuff like that. All of that is only listed in the fourth commandment. That's it. And this is the same commandment that tells you to keep the seventh day Sabbath. So if he's seeking to change times and laws, and all of the Bible is incorporated in the 10 Commandments, what does he have to change in order to change those two things? Well, he has to change the Sabbath. He has to. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. And I think that this verse, now that we know the Bible is going to be taken away, I think that this verse is telling us that he is going to seek to change the Sabbath. That's going to set him up to take the place of God. Because all he has to do is change that one little verse and say, hey, I am the Lord your God now, and this is what I do, and this is why I deserve to be worshiped, and this is why you should be worshiping on Sunday now. Just that one little law. And they don't have the Bible, and they can exalt the Bible just like they did in the Dark Ages, where they said, no, this is too good for you. You're not qualified to interpret it. Nobody gets the Bible but the false prophets. I don't want to read too much into it. I just thought it was an interesting, word to use as opposed to the regular word. And so I was offering an explanation since I thought we had time. It took me longer than I thought, but that's all I'm going to go into right now. Well, I did have it'll have to wait for next time. If you have any questions or comments below, please leave them below. Yahweh bless.